Stephanie Bain, I have a books. I'm a book nerd. There's so many books. Hello everyone, Stephanie here. Today's video is going to be about books I think are overhyped. Now, the reason why I decided to do this is Lord of Shadows is coming out. War just came out, and both of those books are very overhyped. Now, while I haven't read Lord of Shadows, so I can't obviously say anything, and I haven't even made it fucking halfway through War yet. I just haven't been able to read as much. I plan to rectify that this weekend. But anyway, I just got me really thinking about how I've always wanted to talk about books I think are overhyped. But before I even get into books I think that are overhyped, or authors, because some of these I do believe like the whole author can get into this category, I just wanted to say I don't think hype is a bad thing. I understand hype. I live into the hype. I feed off of it sometimes. Some books I think are underhyped. They're not talked about enough. But it's a matter of, I just feel these books have a misplacement of hype around them. Where while they're good, they're not what I believe to be as great as everyone else says. And I'll give you my reasons for each of these. But of course, to each their own. If you guys agree or disagree, just comment down below or let me know books that you think I talk about all the time that are overhyped, that I have no issue with, because it's all personal opinion, and you guys know I love hearing what you guys have to say. But this is my list of author/books I think that are overhyped. The first one I'm pulling off of the list is The Perks of Being a Wallflower by, what's his name? Stephaniebainsbooks. Now, while I did really love this book, I never thought it was like, oh my gosh, the most amazing thing ever. I personally think the movie's 10 times better. And while, again, this is still a very good book, I just never understood the hype around it, and I still recommend it and stuff. I just think it's put a little too high on the list, in my personal opinion. But it's also not my kind of book. A couple of these you'll realize that, but I just feel like this was not like out of the world, absolutely amazing. I probably wouldn't read anything else by him just because, like, you know, whatever. I would just watch the movie. I think the movie's amazing. The next one on my list is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I think Jane Austen in general is overhyped, but I've never read her other books. But this one was nothing like amazing. Will I be reading other Jane Austen books? Probably not. I didn't really click with the characters, the style of writing really wasn't an issue. It was just the way the story was told. I thought even, like, honestly, I liked Elizabeth Bennet in Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies more, which is actually very similar to this, but it has zombies, and that did make it a lot more exciting and a lot more fun. But even in that book, like, Elizabeth is annoying as fuck. I like the movie. I prefer her in the movie. I think if you've honestly seen the movie, there's no point in reading the book. And I think I talked about that once too. But I do believe this is overhyped. I don't think it's eye-opening, life-changing. It was kind of boring, kind of funny. But I listened to it in between audiobook and this, and it was the same shit both ways. The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. Now, why this is on my list is because people sell this book as the plot twist is gonna, like, it's gonna surprise you. Quite frankly, it was predictable, in my personal opinion. Very predictable what happened. I'm not gonna tell you, obviously. But also, I just felt the characters were kind of flat, kind of annoying. Not a lot happens in this book. And while I like slow-paced books, I like books that have a pace. And I just felt this didn't really have a pace. I don't know if I'll ever continue this. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. All I know is it was definitely lived up to be more than what I feel like it actually was. Veronica Roth. Now, I really did enjoy the first book, but all of her other things are... My biggest issue with her is world building and plot. There's no world building. Very, very little, especially in her new book, Carve the Mark. While it's very enjoyable, and they're still very enjoyable reads, they're a hot mess if you really think about it. The world is not explained to you very well, so it's hard to imagine anything going on. And also, her pacing was not very good in terms of, like, time and how much time passes, and letting you know how much time passes. But her plots in this and in Carve the Mark are not very clear. You don't really know what the heck's going on, what's going to happen, and all of that fun stuff. But I do think Veronica Roth just has a lot of hype. And, I mean, if you guys love her, that's great. But I don't know. I do want to continue Carve the Mark because I think it's only a duology. But I don't think I'll be putting a lot more money into buying her books. And I'm not saying like she shouldn't be supported. I just think there's a lot of other authors out there that deserve a chance. And these are just kind of a hot mess. The last two are definitely overhyped. Last two authors. And I don't know. These are always the biggest like conflicts out of the ones, like whenever I mention these two. The first one I'm going to mention of the last two is John Green. While I absolutely adore The Fault in Our Stars, whatever first book you read from him, I feel is the only one you're really, really going to love. I first off find, and really The Fault in Our Stars is just the better written one in my personal opinion. I attempted to read An Abundance of Catherines, but I got rid of it because I didn't like it. But let's talk about Looking for Alaska and Paper Towns. Looking for Alaska, these two books are the same thing. It's the boy who is kind of nerdy but not really, and who's shy and stuff, and then the girl who's like super rebellious and super cool and super popular, like, you know? It's the same thing. And the girls are letdowns in both of them. I do enjoy, what's his name? Pudge and Quentin, Q, from them. But the girls are just so catty and ridiculous. And I just felt that the mystery to both of these books could have been so much better, and they weren't. But I feel that a lot of people overhype John Green. Oh my god, these are like the best books ever written. I'm like, they're the same thing. It's the same thing written twice, same predictability, same just everything. There's no differing thing. The only one that to me is a little bit more different is The Fault in Our Stars. I love The Fault in Our Stars. I think The Fault in Our Stars is absolutely amazing. The rest of his books, not so much. Especially Margot. Margot is one of my most hated characters ever, just because, like, bitch was stupid. Okay? That's all I gotta say about her. And the last one. And this is... I don't know if I'm gonna keep buying or reading into this series, but that would have to be Cassandra Clare. I think Cassandra Clare is overhyped. People love her endings. I have read 2 of her endings, and I really disliked them. I think the endings get you so worked up, like, oh my god, all this terrible stuff's gonna happen, but then it ends up being okay. And that kind of bothers me. Like, if you're going to do something to a character, kill him or whatever, you should just do it. But she doesn't. So it's kind of like you never really get there. And then she has these parts where I feel like they're just so dragging on. And then it's like, I feel like filler. Quite frankly, there's a huge chunk in this book. For example, it could have been like this much for all I know. This book could have easily been like 200-300 pages shorter, and it still would have gone to the same conclusion, and it would have been good. But I just think she's overhyped her books. While I enjoy them when I'm reading portions of them, I end up having to push myself to finish. And for example, like this one, I was like, I don't even remember a lot of what happened in here. I really don't. And I tend to remember a lot of books. And I just feel like I'm not going to continue reading Cassandra Clare books. Not because like, oh, I don't want to give her my money or any of these authors. I just feel that they are meant for other people, not for me. And especially her, I'm not looking forward to the next book. It was on my list, but I told you it was the least most anticipated book on my list. Like, I was anticipating it, but not as much as the rest. And I still holds true, and it's held so true. I'm not going to continue. I just don't think she's the writer for me. She doesn't push it enough. I didn't really care for the Infernal Devices trilogy. I did really like, and I still think the City of Lost Souls is her best book out of all of the ones she's written. I don't like her combinations of short stories because, quite frankly, you can feel the character differences when they're written by the other authors, and I had to stop reading Magnus Bane for that, the Chronicles. I did not enjoy that. And if you like her, totally cool. I'm not saying, oh, you like her. I'm not like that. You guys know that. But I'm just saying, for me, I don't think she goes there. I think she could push it so much more, and I would enjoy these ginormous books that actually I dedicate a lot of my time to. I just don't think it's something I want to keep dedicating my time to because I keep doing it. Like, I did the first time because I had already bought all of those books. And, you know, that's why I'm really hoping I like Throne of Glass, because my dumbass bought all of the books. But I don't think I'm going to keep buying them. I haven't gotten the Shadow Hunter, what is it? Tales of the Academy. It's not for me. It really isn't. She doesn't go there enough. Yeah. And also, I feel like a lot of her characters are very much alike in every series. So those are the books, authors I think are overhyped. Comment down below, again, whether you agree, you disagree. Do you agree or disagree with hype in general? Because, again, I don't see an issue with it. If a book's really good, a lot of people are going to love it. But yes, it does tend to influence our love or hate for a book having hype around it. I understand that. But just comment down below. Let me know. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.